Police say they're seeing an increase in handguns modified into automatic weapons with the help of a small device that alters the trigger and allows the gun to fire nonstop. The devices are often called Glock switches, and they are illegal in Connecticut, but Governor Ned Lamont wants to take that law even further.
It won't prevent crimes, but it's a hedge that makes it a little easier to prevent crimes and a lot easier for our state police to be able to track these crimes down.
He's now focused on the gun itself, looking to classify so-called convertible pistols as machine guns, which are already banned by state law, essentially requiring manufacturers to design their guns so they can't be modified.
So you heard it directly from the horse's mouth. He literally said that this bill won't prevent crime. But he's saying it could be used as a hedge to prevent crime. So the only logical thing I think to myself is, okay, when you're passing these bills and you think that it's going to help reduce some of the gun violence that is occurring in the state of Connecticut, when we start realizing, oh, these bills are actually not stopping criminals from doing criminal-like shit, maybe we should loosen up the gun laws, because obviously this is more effective against the law-abiding gun owner than it is against the criminal that we should be focusing more on. Like I've said before, when I initially read the bill, when it first came out, you know, one of the things that they haven't addressed, right? And I hope they do address this, because this part of the bill, this specific part, is what I'm worried about the most, right? Now, the bill specifically states that anyone that transports or imports a convertible pistol into the state of Connecticut will be guilty of a Class D felony, right? So what about the people that travel outside of the state with that gun? Leaving the state is perfectly fine for that person. But where issues can arise is when that person comes back into the state of Connecticut with that convertible pistol. Does that count as them importing it back into the state, even though they lawfully owned it in the state of Connecticut? That is something that I'm hoping that they address. You know, something that they make, you know, if this bill happened to pass, something that they make the edits to that bill to make it where we're not going to be criminals if we happen to just travel outside of the state for whatever it could be. Maybe it's family affairs. Maybe you work outside of the state and you just, you know, you have a permit in another state and you travel back and forth. You know, there's a lot of issues with this particular bill as a whole, but obviously that one right there is what I'm concerned about the most. Then you also have House Bill 5436, which essentially that bill, they're trying to classify barrels and slides and, you know, cylinders and all this other stuff. Like, they're trying to basically say that those are firearms now. And the main issue with that is, you know, if you're a gun owner, right? And I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate to this. We all have a bunch of boxes in our homes full of gun parts and accessories that we just haven't used over the years of collecting guns. And that includes having barrels, right? A lot of us have AR-15s, and, you know, you might have extra upper receivers hanging around, and, you know, plenty of guys out there customize their guns. And let's say you happen to have a customized slide for your Glock, and the original slide is sitting somewhere in a box or a drawer in your house. You know, that bill is going to get a lot of people caught up. And it's not going to affect the criminal, because the criminal doesn't give a shit about that. It's going to affect that guy that's trying to take care of his kids, and, you know, he's a family man, and, you know, he just happens to get arrested and charged with some BS off of a technicality in the law. You get what I'm saying? Like, I just posted a screenshot about a guy who, he said he had went to a gun range or whatever with an unregistered assault weapon, right? This was a gun that he legally purchased. He just so happened to not register it, right? Just like a whole bunch of other people out there. They didn't know that these laws were passing, and they got fucked over, right? So essentially, I guess he dropped his gun. He got scared about his suppressor. He wanted the gun store to check out the threads, make sure everything looked good. I guess they asked him, you know, is this a legal gun, before they must have took possession of it. He probably told him, you know, no, it's not legal. I didn't register it. And they legally couldn't give it back to him. They had to take possession of his assault weapon, which is crazy. You know, this is a gun that he legally purchased, completed the paperwork for, did the background checks for, but yet the state can just up and decide, oh, that gun that you legally purchased 5-6 years ago, yeah, that's not legal anymore. And hey, if you don't know, you don't know, and you're just going to get charged with a fucking felony. So here's, enough of my TED talk. For the people of Connecticut, go out, go online, submit a testimony against, opposing these bills, and just let these people know how you feel. Because at the end of the day, we are gun owners. We are trying to look to defend ourselves in the best way possible. So let these people know how you feel. Speak on it. Stand up against this bullshit, because it really is bullshit. You get what I'm saying? You guys probably heard about the shit that happened in D.C. with them striking down that unconstitutional 10-round magazine bullshit. We all knew that was bullshit. So, hey, it is what it is, right?